Episode 10, The Last Stop. We jump right into the action at the beginning of this one, with our crew fighting up train. The traditional narration is now done by all different characters. We have Till, Ruth, Josie, Leighton, Alex, and Mel. Everybody reflects on what they've lost and what they've had to overcome to get where they are. Melanie and Alex reach Big Alice's helm and notice that the throttle controls have been ripped out. And the last intro in the whole series is Mel saying, "On Snowpiercer." And they don't say how many cars long this time. The fight makes it to Agseg, and the Peacekeepers gas our crew. They have to retreat temporarily. Back in Big Alice, Alex and Mel continue to work on gaining control. Mel mentions she thinks they need a different plan, as fixing Big Alice may take longer than they have. Alex is still tender about Wilford, and she lets it slip to Mel that he died. Melanie wants to talk about it, but Alex deflects as usual, and they continue to work on gaining control of Big Alice. Leighton and crew try to gain access to the subtrain. When they do, they realize the hatch has been sealed with breachman's foam. Bulky comments that they'll need a ton of leverage to open it. The group rigs up a series of pulleys, and then all pulling together, it gives them just enough force to pop the door open. Our group splits up, some going to find Mel and Alex, and some going up train to continue the battle. Nima enters the launch control car, and he talks about having control connected to Snowpiercer's engine car. Nima continues to prepare to launch, and is informed that they've captured Ruth. Leighton and Javi join Mel and Alex and Big Alice. They all try to come up with a plan to delay the launch of the rocket. They all take a moment to reflect on Ben, and Mel hears about his funeral service. Nima enters the main engine car and gives a command to take us to sea. And then we get to learn what the retrofit was all about. We thought that a majority of the retrofit was about bracing the train so that it could endure shooting the rocket, but we were wrong. The retrofit was indeed extensive, affecting almost every car on the train. When Nima gives the order, the train enters what we'll refer to as caterpillar mode, where almost all the drive wheels extend and become tank treads. The train is now completely off the tracks as it heads out into the middle of the ocean, presumably towards the launch site. Javi asks Alex how this is even possible, and she waves the whole thing off by saying that's what turning Snowpiercer into a work camp for 9 months will get you. Our group figures it'll take 3 hours for them to reach the launch point, 40 cars to fight through, and then disarm a rocket. No big deal. Mel lays out both ways Nima can launch the rocket, either from Snowpiercer's main engine or from the launch control next to where the rocket is. They plan to delay him by disconnecting the helm option. Nima and Ruth talk. Nima tries to deal with Ruth by saying they can have Big Alice and most of the cars once they've launched the rocket. He claims he can't be a leader and he needs Ruth to step up and stop the killing from happening. She senses weakness in him. If he needs the train to continue research afterwards, how confident can he be in the rocket working? Leighton comes through the crowd and finds Josie beating a man senseless. We're pretty sure she's beaten him to death, and we can tell that she's become more and more unhinged. Hedwood and Nima have a walk and talk, which ends in Hedwood's office, where she shows Nima that she has reanimated one of the soldiers. This is kind of just brushed off, like Hedwood can just bring people back from the dead now. A peacekeeper is moving Ruth through one of the hallways when they run into Sykes. Sykes takes down the peacekeeper and rescues Ruth. Mel and Alex have a heart-to-heart while they're talking about repairing Big Alice. They bring up Wilford, and Alex says Melanie can never understand what Big Alice means to her. She was basically raised there. Mel refuses to ever leave Alex again. We see Javi putting giant gas cylinders on the subcar train. Leighton and Josie talk about Josie's mental state. You can tell that she just wants to kill Dr. Hedwood but won't admit it. Our gas crew moves to the battle line. Equipped with knockout gas and gas masks, they run the subtrain car through a bunch of men, knocking them all out, and moving further up train. Till and Oswilder steal peacekeeper uniforms. Ruth begins to rally troops in the market car. She tells them that she knows that they're not confident the plan will succeed, and they need to stop the rocket from being launched. She says she needs everybody to take up arms and join her cause immediately. Till and Oz are dressed like peacekeepers and they basically use the Wookiee trick from Star Wars to get Josie and Javi to the electrical panel. Mel and Alex show up to where Leighton is, just in time to tell him that the door they're about to go through shows signs of the car being breached on the other side. Javi continues to work on the electrical panel, and when a group of soldiers comes by, they enlist the help of Oz and Till, so they must join and leave Javi where he is. Nima asks for an ETA, and we learn we're 13 minutes out from the launch site. Nima prepares his computer to launch the rocket. When he's attempting to hook it up, he's getting a message that he has no connection. This shows us that Javi's plan was successful. Javi heads up train, and Josie has disappeared. Nima heads to the rocket car, and he even gets a handgun from one of his soldiers. Bulky fixes the breached car and is jumped by Mouse. Leighton and Mouse get into a fight. Melanie and Alex are able to make it to the rocket. They lock the blast doors and go to work defusing it. Mouse and Leighton continue to fight, and eventually Leighton gets the upper hand with some help from Bulky. Ruth and her force meet up with Javi. Josie meets up with Dr. Hedwood in a library car. Dr. Hedwood is mumbling to her shoes, and Josie confronts her about the experimentation done to her. She says that she isn't just numb physically, but she's also become numbed emotionally. Nima reaches launch control. He has all of his men barricade both sides of launch control, and we see that Oz and Till are in the group of soldiers. Nima patches into launch control, and we see that he set the launch for T-minus 10 minutes. At the rocket, Mel and Alex remove the cover to the warhead. They mention they'll have to remove the vials one by one, as the main hub is locked into the rocket. Nima notices in launch control that a sensor is off on the rocket, saying that the hatch is open. He eventually investigates, catches Melanie and Alex, and has them start to reassemble the rocket. Ruth moves with all of her fighters, and they arrive at launch control. The forces are head-to-head, and just before the battle commences, Leighton reaches the front lines. Wolf takes Till hostage, and there's a standoff. Mel and Alex repair the rocket. As they're doing this, Melanie gets very verbally abusive with Nima, distracting him as Alex removes a pin from the control panel and closes the door. While Melanie is berating him, Nima has a change of heart, but reveals that it is too late to stop the launch from happening. As the rocket moves into launch position, the cars jostle. This gives Till the upper hand on Wolf. As the doors open, Nima stays inside the car when Mel and Alex escape. He surrenders to the cold and freezes to death, standing at attention as the rocket launches. The battle for launch control is over before it even starts. When Leighton and crew enter launch control, the scientists that were working for Nima call the rocket Icebreaker, which is a callback to the original comics. We originally thought Big Alice would be called Icebreaker. As the rocket is soaring through the sky, the pin that Alex removed causes the control panel's hatch to fly open, allowing the inside of the rocket to freeze. The rocket crashes. Everybody celebrates after a successful mission, and any of the soldiers left alive fall into line. Leighton finds Josie in the library car, having locked Dr. Hedwood up. She didn't kill her after she felt bad for her just mumbling to her shoes. Leighton and Josie make up. Javi and Mel take control of the engine car. The military engineer joins their team. Melanie gives an announcement from hospitality. The weather in New Eden is minus 6 degrees Celsius, and that as the train exits caterpillar mode, everybody should be prepared to brace. This mirrors her announcement in the first episode. Everyone reunites in New Eden. Alex and Melanie talk about the future, and they wonder how long the pocket will last for. Melanie suggests that they just seize the day. At a party, Ruth and Leighton talk about the prior battle and how New Eden will be run. Javi tells Sykes that Snowpiercer can't stay at idle yet, so they'll have to go out for a few days, and he invites her to join him. She agrees to join him. Audrey asks Oz to play piano so she can sing, and we learn that her voice is unaffected by the gas, and she can still sing very well. Mel and Leighton talk about the logistics of adding so many more people to New Eden, and they reflect on how fast parenting can go by. As Audrey sings, we get a change of camera angle and a nice pull-out shot to a flower growing on a frozen peak, showing us that the world may be returning to its prior state faster than we thought. That was the series finale of Snowpiercer. Thank you for watching.